greetings. I usually do like a Wise Naki channel update, which was in the previous video. Now this one will be a new segment which is called Wise Naki Health Update, or what I plan to do with my existence. My existence would be mostly my walk, my spiritual walk, and my YouTube walk, which is also part of my spiritual walk. I, I, I have a new way of existence now. Well, God, my loved ones. So I put God ahead of my loved ones, and just if anyone's interested, knowing that if you are to follow Christ, you must be willing to pay the cost. Um, it's again, it's a lot of suffering that involve a lot of resilience you must have, and a lot of patience, and a lot. It's hard to explain until you actually have the Holy Spirit in you, of how much pain involves. But it's pain that I'm very grateful for, and it connects me to God. So it brings peace to my soul, and it gives me more empathy, understanding, and unconditional love for others. I understand that my life is only temporary in this world, and any second I should cease to exist. So it's because that gives me more sense of appreciation for life and the life of myself and others, and I face death with open arms, whenever that be. But I plan to, when I die though, to just like, I never want like a funeral and a box, and my body being a box, because I struggle with the whole concept of funerals. I find them just an exercise of people outpouring their emotions, and many time you have people come to weddings that majority of the time they're so busy walking that they didn't have time to like prioritize each other. Because it's the way the system's designed is that we spend one third of our existence walking. Then we're drained, so we're unable then to connect with people. And a lot of times when we connect with people, we just do escaping back activities such as watch TV, or like go cycling, or like go to places. But rarely do like people use their time to actually help each other with their dreams and their ambitions, and to like use their knowledge and share each other's knowledge and wisdom with each other, or use their intelligence to help each other, or use their resources to help each other. A lot of times what happens is that people become either bitter, controlling, and they turn on each other. I've experienced this in my life, of how many times people turned on each other, and that's why I like to talk to people on a one-on-one basis. Much easier than when you have another person, because when you have more than one or two or three people, there's so many different scenarios, different availability, different variables that come into play that are, I find, very unpredictable. Because one bit of reaction from another person might interpret that a different way, another person might interpret that a different way, or another person might see a situation in a different light than the other person, and I find that very tiring. To have to, people put themselves with different wars with each other, and I I myself put up walls as well, but I just come to the conclusion now that just not not to be not to kind of be too open. Um, but I always help others though. I won't. I always do that. But I, going back to the whole graveyard thing, I just, you could like 4,000, 7,000 euro to bury a person that's already dead. Um, I myself, when I die, I want my body to either be chucked into a volcano, chucked into a bog, um, just someone just get a bonfire and just lit my body on fire, um, or someone just leave my body out in a cave somewhere just to rot. I really don't want my body to be buried in the ground. And someone choose like 4,000 or 7,000 euro of resources just to bury a body. I prefer that money to go towards like paying for someone that's a child, an adult that's going through chemotherapy or cancer, or to go towards helping others. That's what I prefer it to go towards. Than just for someone just to put my body into a casket and then just bury deep in the ground. And then someone put up a gravestone, and then for the majority of people then not even see the grave or even come visit the grave. It would just be standing there. Now, the reason why I go to graveyards is just reflect. I reflect on death, but I also reflect on all the lives that of all the people that have died, that are buried there, that once were alive. And I think to myself, like, were they loved? Did they love? Were they missed? Did the people that were around them appreciate them while they were alive? Did they leave a mark on this world? I don't want people to mourn me when I'm gone. I don't want a grave. I want people, my loved ones, or those that are left, should I die, that I know of, to spend their time helping each other. And maybe love God and be able to love themselves and then love each other. Our existence in this world is very short. I see a lot of people in this world, they only. There's many reasons why humans help each other. One is humans get paid to help each other. Number two, humans do it out of obligation. Number three, why people help each other is they get something in return from it. So they only do something unless they get something in return from it, or it's a reactionary thing, so they help someone. Of the thought, then they out of obligation again, they help someone. Very few people help people for the sake of just helping people. That's what I do. I just help people because I want to help people. There's no, just the act of someone accepting my help is all the thanks I need. But we live in a world that people, when you help them, they have this instinct inside themselves to help them back. Uh, when you have God inside you, when you know God's love is unconditional, and that is the love that I have for other people, even when they hurt me, lie to me, use me, control me, leave heavy scars on me. I still love them unconditionally. I hold no bitterness, no malice, just sadness, confusion, and just pain I feel. Confusion as to why they'll they'll hurt me, and why they'll control me, why they'll use me, and why they'll destroy themselves. And sadness at just the loss of time, and just and the sadness they don't love themselves. So I don't. It matters little to me in this world if people love me or not, because again, as mentioned before, I will eventually die, so that love is only temporary. The love that God has is permanent, and your soul is eternal. Your life is temporary, your soul is eternal. So you should spend your existence building your soul, compassionate, be patient, be kind, be loving, be understanding. Take the initiative to help others. Use your intelligence to help others. By helping others, you help yourself, and by helping yourself, you help others. Because it's very important when you help others that for them to be able to help themselves as well. To empower them. Not for them to form a codependency on you, but for them to be able to become independent on themselves so they'll be able to take the initiative to help other people. Otherwise, they'll be inside a cycle of codependencies the whole life, because as a species, we're brought into this world codependent for our existence. When we're babies, we don't have the ability to walk, so we're very codependent on whoever is minding us, whatever parent or guardian or whoever's raising us. We're codependent on them, and that is the first attachment we have, is the first people around, and the first people who influence us growing up are your parents or your loved ones that raise you. So however they were raised and however they were brought up also has an influence of how then you're brought up, and so as previous generations before that. So it's very important that, as a species, it's very important for parents to remember their childhood, or at least write it down. When you still have the memory of it. I'm blessed. I have a very good memory. I can remember most of my childhood. So, to me, all children want is just for their parents to love them and give them encouragement, and for them to be consistent in that. And whenever they make mistakes, to be understanding and compassionate, and not like get angry, and so that your child will be able to trust you, so that your child will be able to turn to you when they need you the most, and not to be so afraid that they have to lie to you. Because the reason why humans lie is quite simple, because they're very traumatized when they're younger, when they made a small mistake, so they become accustomed to lying, so not to be found out when they made a destructive behavior on things, and their fear for the ramifications, because when they're a child they're met with severe punishment or severe abuse, so it delves into their subconscious then when they get older, and it just becomes a destructive cycle that repeats itself from like childhood, teenagers to adolescence. And if you live in an environment that promotes a lot of destructive behavior and destructive mindsets, then it's no surprise then that a generation will be brought up lost, and thinking that they have no purpose, or that they have no future, and that they have no existence, and that then leads to nihilism and leads to suicidal thoughts and depression, which I myself get that regularly, so I understand that quite well. It's very important as a species for us to be as understanding and compassionate as we can, and be patient with others. If you have loved ones that are going down the dark path, all you can do is just pray to God that that God will connect with them, and they'll connect with God, and that they'll adopt more productive and positive and creative way of doing things, then, and empower themselves to be independent, so they don't become codependent their whole existence. That whatever dreams they have, that they're able to use their intelligence to try and implement it. And that's all I wish for anyone in life, is for them to have like a social network, people around them that would be able to support each other unconditionally without expecting anything in return. Because imagine if humanity did that. Imagine how much of a creative and loving species we could be then. But I can only pray and hope that will. I know there's a high probability that will never be the case. That's what heaven is. And I will. I do hope I meet my loved ones there. That I be there as well, and be be a happy existence. because it's impossible to have this heaven on this earth. The only closest thing that I've come to heaven and peace is my connection with God. I'm so grateful for Him for that. He gives me the strength to go through hard times and the strength to go through the pain of my own mind, so that I have the strength then to help other people when they need me the most, and I attempt to be there as I have consistently throughout my life. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video.